Hello. In this video, let us see what happens if we're asked to make a sketch of a linear function, but the equation is not given to me in slope-intersect form. So something that maybe looks like 2x minus 3y is 6. That is not in y equals mx plus b. So if that's not what I have, what choices do I have? How can I make a sketch of this equation using what I know at the moment? So the first choice I have is I could use a table. I could use a table, which means choosing a few values, two values. Let's say for either x or y. So let's say I choose 0 for the y. If I choose 0 for the y, that means 2x minus 3 times 0 is 6. And 3 times 0 is 0. That makes 2x is 6. Dividing both sides by 2, I have x is 3. So this is my first point. It is 3, 0. Now let's choose a different point for the y. Let's say 1. If I chose 1 for the y, then I have 2x minus 3 times 1 is 6. To cancel 3 times 1 is 3. To cancel minus by 3, I add 3 to both sides, plus 3, and that makes 2x equals 9. And finally, to get x by itself, I undo the multiplication, dividing both sides by 2. We have x is 9/2, which is also the same as 4.5. So either 9/2 or 4.5. If I'm using technology such as my MATLAB, and it allows me to use fractions or decimals, then at this point I am done, because if I make a sketch of these points, let's say here is my first point, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, and then 1, 9/2. So, 9/2, 1. 9/2, 1. So if that was 3, let's say that's a 4, that's a 5, halfway is 9/2, and 1 up, way up, so 1 unit up. So if I connect these dots, I should have my equation, my sketch of a straight line. So this is the first approach. The second approach is to use a very particular type of a table called the intersects. So when we use intersects, that is a very particular table with 0 for the y, which makes 3, we already found that out, and then 0 for the x, which we still need to figure out. So here is my original question, and if I replace x with a 0, what would I get? I would get 2 times 0 minus 3y is 6. And 2 times 0, I apologize for the airplane. They just keep flying. And at approximately 12 minutes each time, so sorry. Anyhow, finishing the question, we divide both sides by -3, and that makes -2. So if I were to go back to my sketch and add this new piece of information, 0 for the x, -2 for the y, I would end up at exactly the same straight line that I already had. This is my y-intersect. So using the intersects method, we found that the y-intersect is here, and the x-intersect was the 3, 0. So that's the second choice. The third choice is to actually start with our original equation and solve it. So here is the original equation, and actually solve it for y. And if we do this, we in essence have our equation in a slope-intersect form, and from there we can use this information to make a sketch. So to get y by itself, x has to be on the different side. Let's minus the 2x from both sides, minus 2x. That makes -3y, equals 6 minus 2x. Now I don't do the times by -3. We divide by -3 each term. Now y is -3 goes into 6, -2 times, and if we have two negatives, like -2 divided by -3, that's two minuses. Negative over negative makes a plus, and that's 2/3 x. So with this, first rewriting it in the slope intersect form, the x would be first, and that makes y equals 2/3 x minus 2. So this is our rewritten equation in a slope intersect form. From here, we would use, let's redo this sketch a little. So from here, we would use the y-intersect first. That's a -2, -1, -2. And then the slope would be rise over run. So rise is +2, run is +3. So rise 1, 2 units up, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3 to the right, and we land precisely on our x-intersect. So this is this different way to get the sketch. First, rearrange everything in the slope intersect form, and then use it to make a sketch. Since we already have the equation in a y equals form, we also can use a calculator, because before when we have our equation as x's and y's on the same side, we couldn't use a calculator because the calculator has y equals. So unless my equation is solved for the y, I would not be able to make use of the calculator. So here is the calculator, and I've already typed in the equation, 2/3 x minus 2, and so here is the sketch, and it looks pretty much what we have found. Now, to confirm a few things, we can also look at a table, which is second graph, and we see our intersects. 0, -2, that was our y-intersect, and then we see 3, 0, that's our x-intersect. It only takes 2 points to make it one unique straight line, and we already see the 2 points are on our straight line, so we have made the correct sketch. And that's it. These are our methods for making a sketch of a linear equation. In the next video, let us consider what happens if we have more than one straight line. So two lines or in the space. How can they? What could happen, and how can we solve it? When we have more than one equation, it is called a system of equations. So we'll be looking at a system of linear equations. Thanks a lot for your time. Take care.